Good good evening. This is Shad with Wrestling Republic, and we are back with the Sunday Spotlight. We got a great series of topics to talk about today, and I have a prestige panel with me. I must give y'all the FYI though. We are recording this on Saturday morning. This is before Clash at the Castle, so I don't know exactly what happened just yet. Don't shoot the messenger if y'all get mad in the comments. It is what it is. But I'm going to introduce my team with me today from the West Side, Mr. Clark Taylor. How you doing, boss?
I'm doing great. I'm stoked to be here. Yeah, absolutely. Clash of the Castle is yet to happen. It's a little bit more like Saturday morning spotlight, but we wanted to make sure we got it to the fans this week. So we all got up early and we're on it. Pre-show, I'm excited to be here. And we've got some sweet stuff to put the spotlight on. There's no doubt about that.
For sure, for sure. And always a pleasure doing these shows with you, bro. Um, Last but not least, we got someone that y'all see every week now. She don't take no days off, and she also blessed us with her presence reviewing last week's NXT PLE on Sunday night. Megan, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. Happy Saturday, happy Clash Day, happy Collision Day. I just want to thank you two for inviting me to be a part of the review for NXT's Battleground. It was such a good show. I'm still heartbroken that my girl Lash Legend didn't win, but she got something cooking, so I'm waiting to see where that goes. But it's Saturday, so let's get to it.
Yes, yes, yes. And we are starting off with a incredible topic that I'm going to talk about. And my spotlight is going to be regarding, I think, one of the best women's wrestlers of all time. I think you can say probably my early running for women's wrestler of the year, and that is Io Sky. This past Monday Night Raw, we got another incredible match between her and Lyra Valkyria. Great bout. I said on the Tuesday review show, I feel like these two women are wrestling soulmates in a way where the chemistry is so fluid. They understood each other's speed, and Io as the veteran is doing her due diligence to help a young up and coming star on the rise, be noted and be renowned when we get her onto the main roster. And it's been great. If there's a person you want to feud with, a person like Io is the person to have it. But we gotta admit, man, like Io has been on a banger alert this entire year. We talk about the match with Bayley at Mania. We're talking about the Queen of the Ring, Natty, banger, Shayna, Lyra the first round. And I just don't think that she's getting as much of a spotlight than she deserves. Like, she's really putting in a lot of work. I think Monday Night Raw needed new juice in the women's division, and I think having Damage Control, but more importantly, someone like Io on their roster is really, really good. Once Aria comes back, or once we have a champion with Liv, this is a person that could be a cogwheel to feud with them and create storylines as we progress. I think she's doing phenomenal work there, and she shook the waves this week where another forbidden door was open. Marigold, a Joshi promotion ran by Rossi, formerly running Stardom, announced Io Sky versus Utami Hayashishita. Uh, I'm super excited. I'm a big fan of Utami. Both women used to be not faction mates, but they used to be leaders of the Queen's Quest. They never really connected at the same time because Io went to WWE by the time Utami hit the scene. So this is a dream match for two Joshis, and it may be match of the year. It has me excited just to go on for the rest of the year. We got Marigold part of it, TNA. Maybe Io can do some work with some knockouts people. I think Sky, no pun intended, is the limit for Io. So she is my spotlight. I gotta ask y'all, what are y'all thoughts?
I'm excited about it, and I love the idea of the Forbidden Door being opened. It has been all month. right? Multiple companies, and it's cool because every new update, right? It's not just NXT and TNA, it's not just AEW and CMLL or New Japan. Now all of a sudden we've got Marigold and Io Sky. I think we're gonna get though the goddess of the sky, Io Shirai, in this one. No pun intended on the sky part of that, right? And that's one of those things. When she did that moonsault off the In Your House set during the pandemic, I was instantly sold on Io. That was the
Yeah.
moment okay, wait a minute. This is a different this is a different thing we're dealing with here. She can really go, and it's one of the best moonsaults I've ever seen, if not the best. Also, the trash can spot in War Games.
Yeah, War
The
Games, yeah.
Her highlight reel is up there with almost any women's wrestler on the planet. And then to have her crossing the forbidden door, it's one of those I'm going to go out of my way to watch that match without question.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think it's one of those cases where like she's gonna open a lot of eyes on Marigold just because like Io was really a baller when she was in Japan,
Yes.
but like a lot of people WWE caught wind of her as soon as she got to NXT, and obviously what she's been doing on the main roster now. Now it's a case where you got that eyes of the WWE. Now you see her going back to Japan doing work over there. That's going to be beneficial for Marigold. Also, the fact that people in Japan are going to be excited to see her return. Like,
Right.
it's been 5 years since we've seen her wrestle there. I
Probably
mean,
on fire.
Megan, what are your thoughts just in regards to like this forbidden door being open for women's wrestling? Like, with Io and Marigold, and then obviously, like, it seems like the ladies open the door more than the
Yeah.
men have in the WWE.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, between that and the other promotion that they have an announcement coming up, I think next week, between the name skips me right
No,
now.
Noah.
Yes.
Yeah, Noah.
It's a very exciting time for women's wrestling, and I think it's very exciting for WWE that is trying to branch out into another demographic that is obviously lacking. And it does show that WWE is watching other promotions such as AEW that really um, promotes other wrestlers from different backgrounds, such as New Japan Pro Wrestling, and with their upcoming Forbidden Door. Um, of course, I don't when you say you see her as the women's wrestler of the year, I kind of have to. Hmm. Um, we're going to wait and see exactly if that is
We're just
going to
talking
be the
match
case.
quality, by the way.
We gonna see if that happens because I'm waiting for my girl Charlotte to come back. I know when she comes back, she is going to literally dominate the division. I don't know who's going to come back between her and Rhea, but I do know when both of them do come back, um, Io is definitely going to have some trouble on her hands. But um, that's not to take away Io's talent. I definitely enjoy watching her matches. And I'm hoping that they continue on to build this feud between her and Lyra. I think it will benefit Lyra being a new draft pick from NXT. Um, and there's chemistry between them two in their matches, and I think they mesh well with each other. And there, I just have very high praises for EO, but Woman Wrestler of the Year. I don't know. I don't know, but she's up there. She's up there.
it's that's my
But
midterm award so far. But of course, I mean, the queen is the queen, right? Like Charlotte
Yeah.
Flair is definitely like arguably the
Speaking of
greatest
moonsaults,
women's wrestler. Yeah, speaking of moonsaults, that's one of the
it's one of the
athletic
best in
like
the game.
pure ones in the game. And I mean, to y'all point, this is an incredible segue to get to our next topic. By the way, Monday Night Raw. I feel like they have been like a catalyst for WWE programming since Mania has been done, and obviously since the draft. Like we're gonna get to this next topic next, and I'm gonna pass it to you, Megan, because this is your spotlight. But
Yes.
Dirty Dom, the Battle of Dirty Dom, which is, in my opinion, one of the best storylines in pro wrestling going on right now. Um, Break
Yes.
it down. Let's spotlight what happened this week, especially.
All right. So, if you had told me a couple of months ago that Dirty Dominic Mysterio was going to be in this crazy love triangle between Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley, um, I would have called you a liar. I would have told you you were out of your mind. But here we are. Here we are. And now you have Liv, who is seemingly obsessed with him, in love with him, in lust with him. I'm not sure, but she just can't keep her hands, eyes off of this man. And it definitely gave me remnants of past storylines. Stephanie Triple H, Kurt Angle, Stephanie Trish Stratus and Triple H.
Mhm.
Even more recent, Jimmy, Naomi, and Mandy Rose. Um, the love triangles always work. It always worked because it can be relatable. It's not just wrestling or two women fighting, or it's there is a story behind it. And most stories that involve love or infatuation or lust, it always makes for good TV because the person that's watching it, they can either relate to it firsthand, or they've heard a story of a friend or family that has gone through it. And not only it draws the viewer in, but it keeps them drawn to what's going on. um I don't know what is really going on between the whole Liv and Dominique thing, because it does seem like Finn is he's lingering around. He's like in the forefront, but he is still kind of not in the picture, but he is there. Um, but I do think that towards the end of this storyline, with obviously Rhea returning, Finn is going to have a part in this. And I don't know if he is trying to keep Liv and Dominique apart, or if it's something that Liv and Finn has in cahoots. They're in cahoots with each other, or Finn wants Liv for himself. Don't know what it is, but Finn definitely has a more important role than it's coming off. And I just I know I feel as though I know the way Triple H mind works, and just watching this story, it definitely reminds me of the storylines that involved him. And I I just don't know if it's going to end with Liv losing the title and keeping Dominique, or if she is going to somehow dump Dominique if she ends up losing the title. But I like this Liv. I like this Liv Morgan. She's feisty. She's a little manipulative.
Hmm.
She's very focused on what she wants, and whether her end goal is to completely destroy Judgment Day, or if her end goal is a little bit more centered towards just taking Dominique away from Rhea. Um, it's kind of early to tell, but I definitely enjoy this Liv. I enjoyed this title reign so far compared to her original title reign on SmackDown. And Liv, I'm rooting for you, girl. So go get your man. Get your man. I'm here for
I
it.
love it. I love it. And on Tuesday, me and Chaos and Jordy, we are so just loving this storyline as well.
Yeah.
I think I'm very very vocal about saying I underestimated her game. maybe her actual game. She got some game on her, right? She got a little bit of Riz on Dom Dom, but like just
She does.
the star quality, like I see it now. I think she is honed into this character and just pedal to the metal, went full gas, and does not, no brakes, is not stopping. It's only gonna get crazier. It's only gonna get better. It's only gonna be more like conniving, and it's
Yeah.
wild. Like to me, I think the three best heels in WWE right now are on Raw: Liv,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Gable, and Drew. Right,
Yeah.
and like,
Yeah.
and those are like the three best storylines on WWE at the
Going.
moment too. And you got to put her like right on the top with them because this is like Rhea Ripley is beloved
Great
by the
work.
fans. Her
Yeah.
the the Liv Morgan revenge tour, but is one thing, right? The line saying I'm going to take everything from you, everything you
Everything that
love
you
from
love.
you
Mm-hmm.
is pure sinister. It's
Oh, it's
diabolical. It's one of those things though,
manipulative.
manipulative, but it's one of those things, man. It's the same thing as like a Thanos or like the Joker. You understand the reasoning. You understand the
Yeah.
reasoning
Yeah.
because
Oh yeah.
she took the most important thing away from Liv, which is time.
Yeah.
So she wants to take time and more to get one up, and I think it's phenomenal work, man. Liv Morgan
That,
deserve, and then Dom too. He deserves his props because he's playing this like caught in the middle role. It's different than
yep.
being
Yeah.
just a big heel. Like now he's playing like
Yeah.
a victim in a sense.
That's my favorite part about this story is it's very much like that petty high school rivalry. Like Liv looks at
Mm-hmm.
Rhea as her popular kid rival and is like maybe not interested in Dom until oh no, it's going to hurt Rhea. Now I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to put
Mhm.
all my eggs in that basket and
Yeah.
I'm going to mess that up. That's the girl though then that dumps Dom as soon as she gets what she needed, which
Yeah.
was the wedge in that other relationship. And that
Mm-hmm.
I'm as excited for as anything. The other thing, Megan mentioned Finn Balor's role in all of this. I don't
Right.
know if anyone else caught it, but remember, she gave Dom the hotel key. He put it on the table. When they were all standing around the table, Finn grabbed the key and put it in his pocket.
Took it.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
that was like, wait a minute. I mean,
Yeah, you don't know
if
where that's going
if
with.
Finn and Liv orchestrated all of this to drive a wedge between each member of the Judgment Day individually, it's one of the
I
most
can see it.
conniving, manipulative, heelish things we've seen in a long time. I'm all over that
Yeah.
because the WWE needs stuff like that.
And the thing with
Remember.
Liv is that she's observant. So
Mhm.
we know how Dominique and Rhea first got together. Rhea literally beat this boy into submission and made him into a man. They
Yep.
wanted Dominic to join Judgment Day. He refused. She literally beat him into submission. And that's pretty much how she became Poppy, then Mommy,
Yep.
and that was the dynamic of their relationship. And last week, or yeah, this week, last week, Liv said something that kind of put a, turned the light bulb for me. And it was, you know, Rhea is very dominating and she wants you to address her as such. Whereas with me, it will be the complete opposite. You will be in charge, which is probably something that Dominique always, I mean, I'm on a panel with two other guys. You two can relate whether or not, you know,
Yep.
but it's still re- Liv is Liv and Rhea is literally two sides of a coin. Liv
Mhm.
is doing the same thing to Dominique that Rhea did, but she is doing it in such I don't want to keep saying manipulative, but she is playing a role where she is allowing him to believe
Yeah.
he will be in
Mhm.
control.
I didn't even think of
And
it like
Yeah.
that till you just said it, Megan. But it's almost like both in the ring and out of the ring, emotionally, even it's literally the matter of power versus finesse, right?
yeah,
Liv Morgan's
Yeah.
gone
For
gone
sure.
after it the finesse way, and like you said,
Yeah.
overpowering Rhea Ripley. That's really interesting way to think of it
But
too.
she's
That's
still,
brilliant.
but at the end of the day, that these are still strong women that is going to
Yes.
make Dominique do exactly whatever it is that they want him to do. Liv
Yeah.
is just, she just coming at it from a different angle. And yeah, Dominique is going to get hurt in the end. And I feel like Finn definitely has a way bigger role in this. And um, you could kind of see it when he was watching Damien just before he had won the title, and how Damien was I instead of we. And Finn is looking at him like, okay, like we lost our titles and now you just really focusing on yourself. You're not really, we're not a team anymore. And then once Rhea left, that just kind of really put the nail on the coffin. So yeah, I think Finn and Liv might be
In
working
cahoots.
together. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Nah,
100%.
that definitely would be the big curveball, but we'll have to wait and see. But I love that spotlight. To the next one, my man over here, Clark Taylor, is
Wait,
a
one
big
up.
fan. My bad.
You're good.
Highlight of the week. We don't even talk about your.
Oh no,
Oh, this is it.
we got it.
There
They're
you
out
Technical
of
go.
order.
difficulty.
It the thing is out of order. It's not on me. Sorry.
No, it's not.
The
Thanks a
slide
lot,
the slide
Ken.
got mixed up. I didn't want to name drop. Anyways,
We
Clark
love you, man.
Clark Clark breaking down the international wrestling events going on. There's quite a few. There's one happening today. Like I said, we're doing this on
Yes.
Saturday. So it happened yesterday if you're watching it tomorrow. And then, for the next couple months, break it down, Clark.
This is something that I've thought was really cool since even since I was a kid. We like SummerSlam at Wembley Stadium was enormous. Everyone remembers that main event. It was ironically for the Intercontinental title, but between Bret Hart and British Bulldog, famous Wembley filled to the gills, absolutely gorgeous. We have All In last year at Wembley, filled over the top. We've had Elimination Chamber in Australia with a rowdy crowd. We've been to France this year. We're going to go to the battle in Berlin. We're going to have Clash at the Castle again, Clash in Wales last year. These events overseas that WWE, AEW, multiple companies have run are so cool because the crowds are so happy to be there. We get spoiled over here in the US at times because we get the tour every single year. And you hear these crowds locked in for wrestlers that we don't even hardly bat an eye for in the US. And it's just fun to see the atmosphere, the noise, all of it. It's what makes pro wrestling so great. And I'm excited to see more of them. I'm not saying it's got to be once a month, but a few times a year, keep up this pace that we're on because they're just absolutely, I can't even go without mentioning Backlash in Puerto Rico. That crowd was absolutely ballistic start to finish. And you can't ask for more than that. To me, the crowd makes wrestling as much as the in-ring action and the promos do. It's as big of a part of it. Hearing the sound, the chants, all of it, right? Singing along to different wrestlers' music. Things as organic as that are what makes it so entertaining and so fun. And these international crowds continue to deliver. I expect nothing less in Glasgow, Scotland today. And I think we need more of them, including, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say, obviously, we're going to Vegas for WrestleMania 41. We heard the announcement about a 2-day SummerSlam. How about a London WrestleMania for 42? Why not? Let's do it. The crowd would be crazy. Obviously, Wrestling Republic was started in the UK. We try to get the whole crew out there, but I'm just asking, how about London Mania 42, 2 nights, put it in a big old stadium, and we'll have a blast with it because those fans, it's different. It's special. There's something in the water. That's all I'm saying. There's something special every time they go to one of these international locations because it's the rarity thing, right? Absence makes the heart grow fonder, and the fact that it it doesn't happen every single week or multiple times a year. It makes it that much more special, and I'm looking forward to more of it.
Man, I agree with everything that you said there. I think it needs to be reminded to the states, right? Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
y'all keep not reacting at these events, then they're gonna keep doing it. And WWE has made a kind of a blueprint, I might say, with how they do these events, where the major ones, Manias, the Rumbles, the SummerSlams, are on American soil, but these other ones, like today, Clash at the Castle, Money in the Bank, Toronto, they're gonna go
Mhm.
overseas, and like a lot of it was based off of what you said last year with, like, I mean, from way back, but even like last year at Backlash in Puerto Rico, like, it's such a fun environment. And I watched a couple interviews. I watched Chad Gable's interview today, um, and he was noting that he was like, it's fun. Like, you go to France and they're cheering Baron Corbin like he's Hulk Hogan, like in
Yeah.
the '80s, right? And
Yeah.
it's one of those, it's one of those things where it is like it's a different environment. It's fun. I'm here for it.
Same. I love it. And like it to like I was saying, it's the uniqueness of they don't in those areas you're not going to get 4 shows a year. You're not going to have 3
Mhm.
opportunities to go see live wrestling. So the excitement is palpable. You can just feel it when they hold these events.
And can we just
Yeah.
talk about Cody crowd surfing during the kickoff yesterday? You know,
Crazy.
I thought that
So-
was just a really memorable moment for those that was there and even for him. And eh, I have to agree, I think as American fans we have gotten lazy. We have
Yeah.
gotten
Mhm.
spoiled. Um And when you see the fans overseas who can't afford to come to the States to see these shows,
Yeah.
and not only just seeing their favorite wrestling, their favorite wrestlers, but to also, not just for the fans, but also for the wrestlers who don't necessarily have the opportunity to wrestle in their home countries, to like Rhea for this past Elimination Chambers, or Naya, or unfortunately, Big Bronson Reed. His wife was in labor,
Mhm.
so he wasn't able to
Yes.
perform out there. But Grayson, on the other hand, he was not going to let us forget that Australia is the best country that there is.
Yep.
Yeah.
But just seeing that, and then seeing France for Backlash, and just hearing how loud they got and the cheering. And I've also noticed the little loud radar meter that they
Yes.
had on
Yeah.
SmackDown yesterday. But you know, as a New Yorker, a native New Yorker, I have to say, hey, these other countries are making us look bad, y'all. Like,
Yeah.
we really have to like step our game up. Like, we get to
For
see
sure.
them.
That's
They
so
might
true.
come to New York maybe
6 to 10 times a year. If you
at
include
the
all the
very least.
companies, if you include all the
Yes,
companies, right? It's
Mhm.
even
all the
more than that, right? Now you can get it, you can almost get to like in the
yeah.
20s.
Yeah.
No, and I mean, not to like kind of veer off, but hopefully AEW will come to the city, because it's kind of hard to get to Long Island sometimes, especially if
Hmm.
you're not a driver. Um,
Right.
but that's neither here or there. Um, but you could tell that they really, and they're like really happy to see the superstars out there. And Triple H, he looked like he's definitely enjoying the
They singing a
seeing,
song.
yeah,
It's great.
the whole song. And I think, as I'm definitely on Michael Cole's end, this is the Paul Levesque era, even though it seems like Triple
Mhm.
H kind of try to, no,
Avoid
this is
that.
all of us, and it's like, no, it's you, sir. This
Yeah.
is you're doing, and we're grateful that you are making the effort and the changes, the necessary changes needed to
Right.
make it possible for those in other countries that's not able to see it live. So, you know, the Paul Levesque
Absolutely.
era.
The Paul Levesque era.
For
I love
sure.
it.
For sure. And then, I mean, I'm excited for the rest of the calendar that we have. I'm excited for Clash to see. Like I said, it happened before we did this, so don't yell at me, commenters. But seeing
Yeah,
a Drew get a moment, seeing Isla and Alba and Piper
Piper
Niven
Niven.
get a
Piper.
moment.
Mm-hmm.
She told
Yeah.
a great story this week about getting on the card. She said she was not feeling very confident, but she really, really wanted once they announced it, because she's from Glasgow, her hometown. And she talked to Chelsea Green because they're friends in general. And
Yeah,
Chelsea was the one that encouraged her. She's like, no, go ask Triple H. And she
yeah.
went into Triple H's office, and apparently Triple H just looked right at her and goes, "You're here to ask about Clash?" And she goes, "Yeah." And he goes, "You're already on the card."
I love
Oh,
it.
It's very
I love
yeah,
it.
cool.
yeah.
I
And
love it,
then
man.
Germany in August.
Yes. Yep.
Yep.
Battle at
Yeah.
Berlin. It's gonna be wild.
Mhm.
My
That's
man
oh
Ludwig Kaiser, he better have a
yes.
big
Hmm.
match.
Oh yeah. I
Oh
think
man.
so.
Yeah.
I think
But
so.
nah, that's a great topic. And we're not gonna go far. I'm gonna keep you there, Clark, because we got highlights of the week. And
Yes.
this was an eventful week from all wrestling brands. And I really liked your specific highlight specifically this week. So let the fans know, what was your favorite highlight of this week?
I'm starting off with Ray Phoenix versus Will Ospreay, the match that they had. It's my highlight of the week because it was a human highlight reel. This was like Cirque du Soleil in a wrestling ring. Like, there's the old cliche, the old trope over in boxing and in mixed martial arts, styles make fights. Well, whatever the two styles we have here with Ray Phoenix and Osprey are, it's athleticism that you can't find in many places outside of high level elite professional sports. You don't see two people in their prime that can do the things that they can. It's as much like live stunt training as it is professional wrestling, and it's just beautiful to watch. It's one of those things that never gets old, bell to bell. There wasn't a massive build for Phoenix and Osprey or anything like that, but halfway through the match, I was convinced that it could go the other way, that it wasn't going to end the way I expected it to. And when they can get me to suspend disbelief after watching pro wrestling for close to 25 years now, they've done something right. And that's why this match was my highlight of the week. When you have, I think Ray Phoenix is underrated. I think Will Ospreay has gotten quite a few flowers over the last few years, deservedly so. But Ray Phoenix is sublime. I think he's top 5 bell to bell in the world. I actually think he's the best luchador on the planet right this second. And so if you put him in a matchup with a guy like Will Ospreay, you're going to get magic, and that's exactly what we got. I loved it.
I like it myself, man. I thought it was a phenomenal match. Um, and it's definitely AW definitely had some great in ring matches this week. Megan, you also have a highlight of the week that is coming from the good people at AW, and I
Yes.
think it has to do with somebody that he just talked about. What you got for
Yes,
us?
Right.
it does. Well, I am a fan of Will Ospreay. I think the first match I saw of his was him against Kenny Omega at I think it was last year's Forbidden Door. And I'm like, who is this guy? Like he is just whooping Kenny's ass right now. And it was I just couldn't get over how he pretty much carried that match, and I've been trying to follow his career ever since. So when I heard that he was in a battle between either or companies, um, I was just happy that he was coming to the States. I didn't matter what company he chose. But on the subject of choosing AEW, he has an upcoming match against the current world heavyweight champion, Swerve Strickland, on the 30th. And this is like right after his match with Phoenix. And he had a little closing promo with Swerve. And I just, I felt like that promo, without even saying anything, will outshine Swerve. And the only issue I have with that, despite being a huge fan of Osprey, is that the challenger should never outshine the champion. And at that moment, he did. And he managed to do it without, like I said, without saying a word. And I would be absolutely surprised if Will did not win the title at Forbidden Door just based off that promo alone. Because um, there is this, it's almost like a superstition to have a challenger wear or let alone touch the belt that they are going up going up for. Naturally, um if you alter their render and put a belt on it, usually that person doesn't win. But to have that moment where Osprey is just standing there in the ring with both his current international belt and the world heavyweight belt on his shoulder, he looked so good with those two belts. He looked like a champion. In fact, he looked more of a champion than Swerve did at that moment. And people might be mad about that, but it's the truth. He did. He did. And it just goes back to poor writing. You know, it just goes back to not putting your champion in a position to where he looks good. At that moment, Swerve looked like the challenger, and it's his belt that's on the line. So I'm rooting for both men, but I, like I said, I would be surprised if Osprey did not win at Forbidden Door. So my highlight of the week was the challenger outshining the champion.
Yeah, and you kind of mirrored a lot what I said on the Thursday show, so eloquently, and I agree with you 100%. A lot of it is on the booking, but it's kind of the case of where are we right now? This is where we at.
Yeah,
The big problem is there's a pattern in AEW, right? There's precedent
yeah,
set. Like you look at it feels like every single time someone's built up where they're right there, they're so over. You get them to the finish line and there's nothing after. I mean,
right.
Yeah,
Wardlow, the Acclaimed. How many times is it Hangman Page? You can say that about his title reign to an
man.
extent. It's happened so many dang times. Thunder Rosa was like right there chasing
Yeah,
Britt Baker right on her heels the whole time, gets there and then, oh, can't quite capitalize, right? And it just, it
Yeah,
doesn't make any sense to me. Because they
yeah.
do a great job with the chase. They really do.
The
Often
chase
do
is
a good.
good, but
They almost did too good of a job with the Osprey chase. To Megan's point, they've done
yeah,
too good of a job with Osprey's chase because, like you said, he outshined Swerve.
yeah. At that moment, and it would have been
yeah.
one thing if them two had like a little battle of words. If Swerve said something snarky and Osprey responded to it, bruv, just something. But it was like at that moment, you allowed Swerve to do all the talking.
Yeah.
He did all the talking. He pumped his chest and he let it be known, I'm the champion. If you think you're going to take this belt, I got another thing coming. Swerve it. It's like Osprey didn't have to say anything, and all he had to do was just snatch the belt and just put it on his shoulder and just stand there and just look at it and just allow the fans to see him possibly be double champion. And that alone just kind of washed whatever it was that Swerve had just said. And then at the end, he threatened him, and it's like, boy, please. It's like, so it just, I just want them to really take some time to figure out what type of champion are you trying to present Swerve as,
Mm-hmm.
and then
Sure.
follow that blueprint. And if it's a matter of the wrestlers being responsible for carrying these things out, then as a booker or a story writer, then you need to sit with these wrestlers and really try to write a story that is going to follow the character that they're trying to present to the world. Because right now,
Right.
Swerve is not even looking as he's not even looking a tenth of a strong champion as Samoa Joe. He's not even looking as
Yeah.
good as MJF, or Kenny Omega, or Adam
Yeah.
Page, or even CM Punk, or John Moxley. Like, you have all these champions before you, and they look the part. Now, Swerve looks the part, but it's just
It doesn't feel like it should feel, is the way I would put it.
Nope.
he
It does
just
not.
feels he yeah. So, you know, don't be mad at me, but I'm just repeating what is being said, you know, um, and it's not too late to fix that. That's the thing. It's not too late to fix it, but it does
The
deter
writing's on the wall.
Yeah.
it does. And it really depends on if you have any intention on Osprey winning this belt at Forbidden
Right.
Door. It
Mm,
really it will ride on if you intend on him winning or losing that match. If he wins, we are going to remember
Yeah.
what Swerve's the first black AEW heavyweight champion. We're going to remember his title reign, and it's not going to be
yeah.
very favorable.
Yeah.
But if you do decide to allow him to keep the title, ride it out until All In, change that. You still have enough time to change it leading up to All In,
Totally.
and that can be the saving grace. But it really all depends on
Yeah.
who you intend on walking away with that belt on the 30th.
Absolutely.
For sure. No, incredible highlight on that, and yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Um, I will give y'all my highlight, and my highlight was from last night actually. Two specific things. Last night TNA had their Against All Odds pay per view, and I thought there was two significant things that happened. One, we got a return to TNA. We got an incredible moment. We got Jeff Hardy back there, and I'm one on the Instagram reel that says I think Jeff should go to the retirement home. That was a little brash, but seeing Jeff and Matt on TNA last night was pretty awesome, and the original Hardy Boys theme song playing and all that. It's always great to see. Jeff Hardy's one of those people that holds a lot of nostalgia for people in our age range, especially growing up being huge fans of him. And if this is the last swan song run for him and Matt, and they can kind of go out on top with each other in TNA, I'm here for it. All I care is your health is good and everything, all of that. But it definitely seems like a good place for them to go. They can showcase and be the legends and stars that they are. They have history in TNA. I'm excited for it. The more important highlight: Forbidden Door was open last night, and the door was open by the GOAT, the greatest of all time, or the greatest of all Tatums, actually. Not Jason Tatum. Tatum Paxley. Tatum Paxley opening that door, answering Jordan Grace's challenge, having themselves a very good match for the knockout women's title, and I'm excited for it, man. It's just continuing the working relationship that TNA, WWE slash NXT are having. And it's that, you know, it's that argument me and Drizzy always had. Which women's division is booked better? Which women's division better? Is it the knockouts or is it NXT? And the fact that we're having storylines and matches implemented with both of them together with two companies and brands that really emphasize and care about women's wrestling, it's great to see. I'm very happy for Tatum Paxley. I think it's a dope moment. I love that she was able to, do a move that is, because her character is very reminiscent of Daphne from WCW. With the gear and how she acts, and using some of her move set was dope to see. I'm here for it. Trash by Negligence was there as well. She got a little bit of the bubbly poured on her, but
Wow.
that's neither here
Wow.
there. That's
Wow.
that
So
Inside
that's
disrespectful.
joke
it.
from Tuesday.
So
That's
disrespectful. Oh
it.
my God.
That's
It
it.
I
was
love
so
you.
funny.
I love you, Dana. I love you. Even if
We do
I'm the
too.
only one that's new.
No, we completely do too. Shad just dropped that line on Tuesday, and it completely broke me. That's like,
It's Drizzy's fault. He was arguing with me, and I felt defensive, so I had to defend myself, and I she
you
caught a
got,
straight
yeah,
for that.
she
Clark
did.
gave it as his moment of the night on Tuesday,
Well, it
and
just,
I wasn't even.
I'm sitting here hosting the show. I'm about to go to the next segment, and you just broke me. Like I couldn't even talk. I was laughing
Oh
so
my
hard.
God.
So I
Oh
was
my
so
God.
not expecting it.
Broken
It was
Clark
just out of
Taylor.
left field.
Wow.
Oh
Wow.
man,
It was
but
clever
Uh,
but
too. I gotta give him
that's
credit. It was clever.
I appreciate it, but that's all the time we got here, guys. This was a fun episode. This is the Sunday Spotlight. Like, comment, subscribe. Catch us on the daily, every single day, right?
Yep.
Catch us
All of the
on
days.
all the other shows too. We got review shows coming up. We will be back on Sunday Spotlight next week, and yeah, we got some exciting stuff coming up. So rock with us, continue. I appreciate you too, and that's all over here. Peace.